It's fun to look up facts about your friends. You start digging around on the internet and you see 13 million albums sold and 18 number one hits. And I'm like, well, Tracy Lawrence, I mean, I didn't know all of those facts, but it makes me excited that you got new music coming out.
I do. I've got a new single that's just getting ready to drop. New video and everything that's all shot. So we're excited about it. And I think it's a real appropriate lyric for the time that we're in right now.
When the Cowboys Gone, tell me about this song.
I wrote this with Carson Chamberlain and Wyatt McCubbin, and they brought the idea in to me. So it's one that I was fortunate enough to be a part of, and I love the whole message that it talks about. Because the analogy of the Cowboys, you think back in time, when you were growing up, all the old westerns and things that we saw, good always won, and the Cowboys symbolize all that honesty and integrity and everything of society, and he fought the bad guys, and you want to see that kind of society come back. And I think this kind of symbolizes what we're all longing for. We're all longing for justice in a world where we really don't know what's right and wrong anymore. Everything seems to be off kilter. So the cowboy to me symbolizes all that upright integrity that we're all missing in society these days.
What are you hoping people take away from it?
I just hope that people realize that our our society in its entirety is not broken, but it is way past time for a lot of the conversations that we're having now about social injustice and everything that's going on, and I believe uh, that a lot of these things can be fixed. I do believe that there is a misbalance in power, and there does need to be police reform and all these other things that we're dealing with right now. And hopefully that even as simple as a song can be, that it can inspire people to really step back and look at themselves and see how they fit into the picture, and what even if they don't know any cowboys in their life, the analogy of that person in your neighborhood that tries to go out and go above and beyond to do things for their neighbor next door, and to fight the bully down the block and do all those things. That is the symbolism of what the cowboy stands for to me.
Absolutely. You've been doing that for a long time with Mission Possible. You've been standing up for those that don't necessarily have a meal, especially at Thanksgiving. And I've been there with you when you've done the turkey fry. I don't know how many turkeys you did last year, but it does mean something when you can make a difference in your community. And you have watched what you started here in Nashville spread to other cities now.
We have. We had some support from Dallas Life, which has been a great partner, and also Louisville, Kentucky. After a lot of the things that have gone on in the last year, our mindset right now is to kind of reel back in and kind of focus back on things here at home. I've learned a lot over the last several years from working with other missions around the country. You don't really know that all missions are set up on a different charter and they have a different purpose. Some of them are full family missions. Some of them just deal with men. Some of them just deal with women. Some deal with women and children. They all have a different platform. Most are spiritual based to some degree. Some get government subsidies, but they're all different. And to be able to put a blanket statement out that this is what we stand for and this is what we're trying to do, it's really difficult to do that across the board when every different organization is in a different city with a different set of issues and different problems. So, after looking at all of these things and hitting some roadblocks and finding some frustration with dealing with different facets of all this, I decided that I really just want to back up and deal with the National Rescue Mission, the women's mission, the men's mission here. As our city grows and we deal with a lot of the social issues that are happening around the country, and our population grows and our homeless issues grow and all those other things, it just dawned on me that I need to be doing a better job here and not spreading myself too thin, because I was trying to go to other places the week of Thanksgiving and do other things, and I had to just accept the fact that I physically can't do it, and I really want to back up and focus my energies back here on the city that I dearly love, and try to make more of an impact and a bigger difference here at home.
What have you learned over the years of being a part of that?
I've learned how fragile things are, and I look at my own life and putting that into perspective with, how easily it would have been to make a wrong turn and to wind up there. And I won't name names, but I've found out over the years that I have a handful of friends in different cities around the country that are extremely successful, that at one time or another were actually homeless. And one of them in particular that's very successful, that lives in the Dallas Fort Worth area, actually lived at the Nashville Rescue Mission for a while when he was young. And finding those things out, and knowing that everything in our society can be very fragile, and the floor can fall out from under your life very quickly. You could lose your job, which a lot of people have done in the last several months. We're going to see a spike in the need and the service that the rescue mission provides in all of the cities around the country. That you can have a steady job and a mortgage and a family, and the sky can fall on you, and everything can change really quick. And a lot of times by no fault of your own. We focus a lot on people with addictions, the drugs and the alcohol and everything else, and it's so prevalent in our society. But there are also some reasons and things that can happen to people that are completely out of their control, and they just need somebody to reach out and give them a hand up to get back on track.
And you've done that year after year, so thank you for doing that. In a different world, do you think you would have been a cowboy?
Oh, absolutely. Um, I don't know if I'd have been a good cowboy though. I always liked the outlaws. you know, Clint Eastwood was a great cowboy, but he was really very. He was kind of a it was kind of a gray area with Clint and all those spaghetti westerns, whether he was the good guy or the bad guy. I was always fascinated by that. But I've spent a lot of time on a lot of ranches and around a lot of rodeo circuits, and know a lot of those cowboys. And what I've taken from all of those folks that I know is there's just a common thread of honesty and integrity and hard work, and just down to earth, humble people. And I've always respected that quality in those guys and girls.
Excellent. Well said. Let's talk a little bit about the radio show Honky Tonkin' with Tracy Lawrence. Last time I saw you, I think we were in Las Vegas and we were celebrating the
Oh, yeah.
nomination, ACM nomination. How is that going, and what has that been like? Because it is different now how we do TV, radio, everything.
We're in our fifth year. Um, we've continued to stay on our recording process. Obviously, we've lost a lot of advertising dollars because people have pulled back because of all the things that are going on right now. But typically, when I come into the studio, it's just me and my producer, so we really have been able to stay on schedule with everything that's going on. We haven't had to back off or miss any shows. Everything's been pretty steady as normal. It's still been fun. I still enjoy it. I love coming into the studio every couple of weeks and knocking out a few shows. I haven't had any in-person guests, but I did get to talk to Loretta Lynn via phone the other day, and had a great conversation with Miss Loretta, which I thought was awesome. So there's still a few highlights there, which is pretty cool for me.
Very, very cool. You've been in the country music industry for a long time now, and it is a different world. As we said, we're facing a lot of different things between COVID and then what's happening right now with, racial injustice and people standing up. What would you hope that the country music community in particular, would do at this point to help other people and to stand up? What's the voice that you would hope would come out of all of this?
You know, uh, Equality. I think that's what everybody is searching for right now. And obviously, unless you've seen and lived through the eyes of someone that's felt social injustice, it's hard to have a true, honest perspective of it. But I'm hoping that we can all be enlightened a little bit as we go forward, and have a much bigger understanding and appreciation for things that have gone wrong in our society all these years, and be a little bit more vocal when we see it happening, and not just stand on the sidelines. I think the winds of change are upon us, and we're going to see a lot of things happen in the next several months. Uh, Part of it is hyperbole. I don't necessarily agree with defunding our police departments. I believe you're inviting chaos and anarchy in, which I don't think anybody truly wants. But we're going to have to sift through all this stuff in the next few months, and hopefully we can see some things resolve and see our society change for the better.
And see some cowboys emerge.
Absolutely.
I love talking to you. It's so good to see you. Congratulations on the new song.
Thank you very much. Always great seeing you too, Kelly.